My name's June Allen from juneallen.net, and I teach black people how to heal from the impact of racism and white supremacy. I talk specifically about internalized racism and how to overcome it through personal empowerment and using the 12 steps. So I've been in recovery since 2009, and I went into the rooms initially as a result of my relationship addiction. I'd been through some horrific relationships throughout my life, most of my life actually. Going through the 12 steps was an absolutely amazing experience. I learned how to honour my humanity. I learned how to be self-compassionate. I learned how to be a lot more gentle with myself. I learned how to understand what my feelings and needs were, and in taking the time to gently take myself through the steps with my sponsor and using the tools in recovery, I was able to not only connect more to myself, but I realised that I was able to connect with other people in a much more authentic way. Now, once I completed the steps, what I discovered, what was underneath, was all the internalised racism. The initial set of steps kind of took off the surface layers, which was great because I was able to understand who I was from a human perspective. But once I'd taken the surface layers off, all of the stuff around being a black woman, it all came to the surface, and it was excruciating. And it was hard because I didn't have anywhere to take it. At the time I had a white sponsor, and in the UK, recovery is very white middle class. There was a few black people in recovery, but there was no one that was really sharing and talking about this stuff. So I just found it really, really difficult. I began to understand that I was addicted to self-hate. I hated my blackness. I was triggered by my own blackness. But I began to understand, as I began to explore and began to read a lot more and do my own research, that this core self-hate, this addiction to self-hate, was all, as a result of unhealed trauma. Because we're still living under the system of racism, it's hard to grieve that stuff. It's hard to really look at that stuff because we're still in it. We're still in it. And I realized from my own experience that a lot of my time, a lot of my energy was used up trying to avoid, deny, suppress. I didn't want to accept the pain that came with having to look at my internalized racism, having to look at my addiction to self-hate. Now, I'm a take action kind of sister. I don't like to see things and not do something about it. I don't want to just complain about it. I wanted to take action. So all of the things that I learned in recovery, all the things that I've learned in therapy, all of the things that I learned in some of my early training as a psychotherapist, I wanted to build something for black people. I wanted to build something for us to be able to really start to take charge of our lives and to take our power back. I wanted to build something that you can empower yourself to self-parent, to understand your feelings and needs, to learn how to set boundaries around white supremacy, to learn how to take care of yourself under this system that is still ravaging the planet. I wanted to build something that is going to empower you to take you back to your greatness. So that's in a nutshell what my story is about. So coming back to you and coming back to today, there's a lot of information out there that tells us what racism is. There's also a lot of information out there about why it's important for us to destroy white supremacy. But there's not enough information out there about how to do it. We know about group economics and all of that kind of stuff, but how do we actually heal the internal stuff? Because that's ultimately where we're going to be emancipated. That's where we're going to have our freedom. In order for us to rebuild our legacy of hope and to heal the legacy of pain that we have to start to do the internal work. And I want to work with you to provide you with the tools, the energy, the empowerment to be able to do that on your own terms. So what I've created for you is an online program that's absolutely free, where you are going to start with 7 days of revolutionary black self-love. We're going to explore how to define black self-love. We're going to talk about the importance of self-compassion. How are you going to find the courage to change? And where do you go for support? How do you ask for support? If you're ready to start doing the healing work, you can find this program at 7days.juneallen.net. You can sign up through the link in the description. I'll see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.